Today we have two separate things happening, and it's something that I want to do in my videos moving forward, and I am very excited to show this off. Hey everybody, Nick from 9Card TCG, and today we are going to be looking at a Rapid Strike box using Sylveon VMAX and a bunch of other cards, so let's just get straight into it. But before we do, as a reminder, there is a giveaway going on right now. If you want to learn about the giveaway, you can check out my previous video. The link is up here and in the video description, because you need to go and comment on that video in order to be entered, and if you win, then you get stuff, because that's how giveaways work. But anyway, go check out that video to learn more, and let's continue on with this one. Most people by now are familiar with Rapid Strike Urshifu V and VMAX. What we might not be familiar with is everyone knows Eldegoss, is the Sylveon V and VMAX. So Sylveon V has the Dream Gift ability where you can search a deck for an item card and put it to your hand, but if you use this ability, your turn ends. But it doesn't say you can't use it your first turn, so this is a great way to use Dream Gift your very first turn if you have Sylveon out, and you can get an item card you need for next turn. Sylveon V evolves into the VMAX, which is a 310 Psychic type Rapid Strike Pokemon, and it has the Max Harmony attack. For 3 colorless energy, it does 70 damage plus 30 more damage for each Pokemon of a different type on your bench. So how do we maximize this damage? Well, by having a bunch of different type Pokemon on the bench. Oranguru, Crobat, and Moltres are the same type. So we have a colorless, a dark, fighting, grass, and water. So we have 5 different types, which is the most different types we can have on the bench at a given time. And 5 times 3 is 150. So you're going to be able to do 220 damage with Max Harmony. Now that doesn't sound like a ton of damage, but keep in mind it is enough to knock out most Pokemon V if they're not weak to Psychic, and in the mirror match, if you're going against other Urshifus or single strike Urshifu, this will be enough to take a one-hit knockout on opposing Urshifus, so it's really good for the mirror match. We are running Octillery for that Rapid Strike search, because we might need to get a Sylveon VMAX and Urshifu VMAX. Maybe we need a Corinna's Focus to try and draw some cards. We can also get out Rapid Strike energies. What we're also running new in Evolving Skies is Ribbon Badge. It's a really good tool card specifically for Sylveon, that if it's attached to Sylveon V or VMAX, you take 1 less prize card when your Sylveon is knocked out. So Sylveon V becomes a 1 prize card, and Sylveon VMAX becomes a 2 prize card. So now with Ribbon Badge, a 310 2 prize Pokemon that can knock out other 2 prize Pokemon is pretty good. We do have a copy of Tool Scrapper to try and get rid of things like Tool Jammers and Air Balloons and things that might impede our progress or make it difficult for us to do what we want. We have 1 copy of Switch, because we are running 3 copies of Towers of Water, just to really try and switch as much as possible. We do have an Escape Rope and some Energy Switch to kind of move our energy around from Moltres. We can move it over to our Sylveon, things like that. Some Energy Search, and also we're running Raihan, because Raihan has a really good effect. You can only use it if one of your Pokemon were knocked out the previous turn. However, if you do, you can attach an energy card from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon and then search your deck for any card you want and put it into your hand. Very good supporter. We're running just a 1 copy of that card. The rest of it is fairly straightforward and simple, so let's get into some gameplay. So here we are, game number 1. If you are new to the channel, first off, thank you so much for checking it out. I really do appreciate it. If you like the content and you want to see more, hitting the subscribe button and bell notification are the, good ways to keep seeing these videos. If you really like what you're seeing, leaving a like and a comment are the best way to tell YouTube that this is a good video and other people should watch it. So here we go. Not good. Ooh. This is rough. This is. Why is this rough? Because I have no attackers and I have no way of drawing new cards. So I'm kind of living off the top deck here. A Marnie would be pretty sweet. A Quick Ball would be pretty good too. We could be playing Ice Rider. We could be playing a Suicune. A Gyarados deck. Interesting. I don't like that. Gyarados can actually be fairly tough for something like Rapid Strike, because Gyarados has the Get Angry attack, which does 20 damage for each damage counter on it. So if it has 100 damage, it does 200 damage, which means it's going to double the damage it gets. Now, Rapid Strike tends to do less damage, but spread that damage over either multiple turns or multiple Pokemon. So if I hit a Gyarados with a Gmax Rapid Flow for 120 damage, well, now it's going to hit me for 240 damage, which is a little bit problematic. Oh, man. I can Energy Search just to like thin the deck a little bit. Looks like we prized a couple of our fighting energies, and we're just going to be done. There's nothing I can do. Well, this is super unfortunate. They will be able to hit us. They're gonna pitifully Marnie me. Blizzard Rondo will not do a ton of damage. It does damage based on the number of benched Pokemon, and I don't have any. So we'll see what they can manage. The problem with Gyarados V and the Get Angry is not Gyarados V, it's the VMAX, which has a lot more HP, 330 HP, and also you can use Memory Capsule, which lets you use attacks from previous evolutions. So Gyarados VMAX, with a lot more HP, can now use Get Angry from Gyarados V. It's a little bit problematic. I don't like it, but we can go ahead and Quick Ball away this Raihan. We don't really need it. I think we can actually go with... We'll just go with the Sylveon. No, it's not particularly useful right now. We don't have enough Pokemon on the bench. So we'll go to an Urshifu. We'll throw down a tower, and we'll research, see what we can get. We get a Remoraid, that's pretty nice. Here, we can Air Balloon out. I kind of don't want to show the Rapid Strike energy just yet. But what I can do is I can Quick Ball away this Dark Energy. Get a Sylveon. Now I could Dire Flame Wings to get an energy onto my Moltres. And do I want to just keep this Crobat in? Maybe that might be the better option, because they can always Hyper Beam with Gyarados VMAX and get rid of this Rapid Strike energy. So maybe I'll just Dream Gift. And I'll go, let's search our deck a little bit. I'm going to go with Energy Switch. I don't really think attacking into that Suicune V is super... I don't know. I think we're just set up way too late. So they can make do with the Cincino to try and draw some extra cards to search for that Gyarados VMAX that I do not want them to get. They can Blizzard Rondo, which will absolutely... they're going to Crushing Hammers. So this deck runs a lot of energy disruption, Crushing Hammers, and Hyper Beam on the Gyarados VMAX. That's pretty annoying. They're going to take the Remoraid out. Smart move, right? They don't really want me to be able to Rapid Strike search for things. So we're going to go ahead and Energy Switch. We'll move. And we'll throw this down. We'll just get a Research. right? No point in drawing until we have 6 when I can draw 7. This is why we run Scrapper. When you do this, make sure that it's highlighted yellow, right? So that signifies that it's going to go. If it's green, that means it's eligible. And that's not always the most useful thing. So at least now we can Gale Thrust for 150 and kind of put a little bit of pressure. So this way, next turn I can Gmax Rapid Flow to take this out and like the Frostmoth, which is probably what I'm gonna do. I assume, oh, here comes the Crushing Hammers. Yes, it is a Tails. Very lucky. They're gonna Gyarados V, Evolution Incense VMAX, Hyper Beam, and get rid of my... They're gonna get rid of my Rapid Strike Energy. Because why would they not? Right? That would be silly. But at least... I mean, now that Gyarados is kind of set up, I'm in a lot of trouble. They don't have the memory capsule, so they can't get angry. So the most damage they can do... I mean, Max Tyrant does 240. It's a lot of damage. They are going to Marnie. I did kind of like this hand, but if I can get a Rapid Strike Energy, that would be pretty cool. We do not. Path to the Peak, not super cool, but... Yep, there goes that. I'll throw down this ribbon badge. We'll get that out of there. Remoraid, so eventually we can Rapid Strike Search. I really don't have anything that I can do. We'll Quick Ball away this. Try to thin the deck out just a little bit. Try to draw into the things that we need. It's a little unfortunate. I've only seen one Rapid Strike Energy this game. They can Max Tyrant next turn for 240. That'll be enough to knock out my VMAX. So we'll move it over to you and we'll Dire Flame Wings. So that at least... I don't want to give them 3 prizes. I'd rather give them... I'd rather just give them the 2. I didn't want to give the Crobat because the Crobat has the Air Balloon and it can be free retreat, but with Tower of Waters, whatever. And I'm going to boss up my Urshifu anyway. Well, at least it forces them to expend the boss. I mean, you get free retreat because you're a Rapid Strike Pokemon anyway. So we can Evolution Incense. We'll Rapid Strike Search. There's a Rapid Strike Energy. It's kind of a little too late. I definitely want to retreat you. It doesn't matter. They're gonna win next turn anyway. All they need is if I left the Remoraid, they can boss. If they didn't, then yeah, not a good start. Let's try our luck with a second game, and if you want to learn how to play this Pokemon trading card game just a little bit better, I do have a Discord. It's a small but growing community of people who are willing to play test, give deck advice, all that fun kind of stuff. We do want to go first. If you are interested, check it out in the link in the video description. So again, not a super strong hand, but at least we have a Quick Ball, and yeah, playing Mad Party. So we can quick ball away. I guess I'll get rid of the Raihan for now. So one of the things about Mad Party is that it's a psychic type deck predominantly, and Urshifu is a being weak to psychics, not always the best choice. So why don't we go Sylveon here? And what we'll do is we'll discard this energy switch, and we'll get a Crobat. We can Tower of Water. We can get this down. We can get the Raihan back in hand. That's why I kind of discarded it earlier. Let's Crobat for a few cards. We'll Air Balloon this bad boy. Throw this down. And let's retreat. And we can Dream Gift. Search our deck for an item card. We're going to search for a ribbon badge, I guess. You know what? Let's search for an Evolution Incense. This magical shot will do 60 damage, which is enough to knock out. It's actually not enough to knock out at the Denny. Jeez. That's so sad. Mad Party is a deck that the main goal is to get as many Pokemon with the Mad Party attack into your discard pile as possible. So Mad Party does 20 damage times the number of Mad Party Pokemon in your discard pile. So that's why they keep discarding these Mr. Rhymes, because they want to have as much in the discard pile as possible so they can do more damage with their attacks. It's a single prize deck for the most part. So I'm interested to see if they're running a post-rotation list. I think that would be very interesting. So here we go. We can... I mean, I could take the knockout on this guy, right? That's something I can do. We can energy search. Just kind of get it out of the hand. We'll get a dark energy. I don't know if I really want to play it though. Let's do something like this. Let's get a Rapid Strike energy. We did prize 1. And Sinesthe only has 30 HP, but I don't have a boss's order. If I did, I would be able to pull this up and I would actually attack with Strafe. Actually, it's resistant to fighting, so it would do 0 damage. Then I would just attack with Sylveon V if I had a boss, but I don't. So let's Evolution Incense. We'll just get the VMAX in hand. So unfortunately, I didn't have an energy to attach last turn. We'll just Magical Shot. We'll hit into 60. I don't want to give them a 3 prize Pokemon without anything, you know, to kind of get back. If we somehow get knocked out, we do have Raihan. Zinnia's Resolve. They discard a bunch of cards and draw more. So, a really good card for Mad Party. I think this is the first Mad Party deck I've seen in a while, because things like Rapid Strike Urshifu can be challenging for it because they knock out a bunch of Pokemon at once. And things like ADP have been very popular recently, all these different variations of ADP, which is also a very challenging matchup for Mad Party. But rotation's happening. By the time this video goes up, I think rotation will have already happened. So, you know, they're not going to be able to face ADP in the standard format ladder anymore. My God, this is an enormous hand that they have. Do not like it. But we have a bunch of different Pokemon types on the bench. So we can go ahead and hit pretty hard with our what is it, Max Harmony attack. So that's cool, I guess. Let's kind of search. Let's just search through our deck a little bit, see what we can find. How many bosses are in deck? We have 2 in the deck. I think we could bet we can just get another Sylveon out onto the field, just to do maximum damage with Max Harmony. And we are going to... I'm not going to give him the 3 prize. I'm actually just going to research. And yeah, we're just going to go ahead Max Harmony for a big 220 and take our first prize of the game. So even though our hand isn't particularly useful, we can sit here and just make it look like we have some stuff to do. I'm shocked that we haven't found a boss's orders yet. I would really like to get that Poltergeist that has the energy attached to it. I guess now it doesn't matter, because this one has it. So this is not a post-rotation list, because triple acceleration energy will be rotating. They're going to bring up my Urshifu, which is why I did not want to evolve, right? Because it's going to take a 3 prize knockout instead of a 2, and who wants that? So we'll start setting up another Sylveon here. We don't have any dark energies in the discard pile, so using Moltres is not super useful. Yeah, there's no real point. Just Max Harmony. Take another knockout. By knocking out these Pokemon, though, I am giving them more damage on their attacks. So it's really kind of a lose-lose. If I don't attack, then I can't hit them. And if I do attack, then they get powered up with their Pokemon. It's really tough. So, well, Evolution Incense. Oh no, I don't want to get that. Oh, we don't have another Sylveon VMAX in the deck. I guess we must have prized it. Well, that is just unfortunate now, isn't it? Still haven't seen a boss. We have 2 somewhere, supposedly. Rapid Strike Energy. This only has 60 HP. So maybe I don't need to evolve. Bunnelby has 40, 40. So maybe I don't need to evolve. I can just hit with Magical Shot. But I think we're going to lose. I think we're going to lose this. Because they just have... This is doing 200 damage. But when I put this into the discard pile, it's going to do 220, which is enough to knock out this. Yeah, I mean, I think no matter what, we lose. We get the boss's order just far too late. We also get our second Sylveon VMAX just a turn too late, and that seems to be the theme here. So they're going to be able to hit for 220 damage, assuming that they don't add more Pokemon. And that is the game. Even if I had this Octillery up, they still would have been able to take the KO and win. Going into the final game of the video, let's hope for a better start. And I think it's important to note that if your deck is constantly getting bad starts, then maybe it's not a particularly good deck. Maybe I built this 60 a little bit wrong. Maybe there's too many Pokemon, only a couple here and there. Because it could just be not a solid list. And we're going to take, oh boy. Just another, like, we can't, this is still a very bad hand. Now we can quick ball for an Urshifu, which is probably our best bet here. Let's see what we're playing first. Playing Duraludon VMAX, not a good deck to play against, because we do run a lot of special energy. I should have attached, I should have done the Rapid Strike, but I don't think they're going to be able to knock out this Remoraid anyway. But if they did, I could have used Raihan, attached the Dark Energy from the discard pile to my Urshifu, and then Rapid Strike energy, but it doesn't really matter. I don't have any other Pokemon in hand to attach a second energy to, and I don't have a draw card to try and, you know, get to do anything. Duraludon VMAX has the Skyscraper ability, which prevents Pokemon who have any special energy attached to them from doing damage to that Pokemon. So, not a good matchup for a deck that kind of relies on special energy like Urshifu. So they do have the, I think this is a team up Bronzor. So this Pokemon can evolve during your first turn if they go second, which they did. So if they get a Bronzong, they can evolve it immediately. They do. That evolutionary advantage Bronzor will be rotating out in a couple of days, which will limit the effectiveness of this deck a little bit. Just a little. I still think it's a really strong, solid deck. And there they go with the Intrepid Sword. Now I am going to go ahead and knock out this Bronzong, because I can Rapid Strike Search. We're going to go here. Rapid Strike Search for the VMAX. I kind of have to work around their Duraludon. We'll get a Crobat, right? Draw a bunch of cards, see what we can get. We haven't played a supporter yet, so I can always draw into a Research. There we go. We have a switch. Beautiful. And let us go ahead. I'm going to Marnie. The reason I'm going to Marnie is because I don't want their hand to be particularly big. I want to try to limit their options as best as I can. Do we have any good support? I can always wait a turn to drop Eldegoss. And we are going to Gmax Rapid Flow these two. Because now I can always boss up this Zacian and take the knockout with Gale Thrust. I just need a switch. Switch and an Air Balloon. They're going to heal. Gale Thrust will still knock it out, right? 90 and 150 is 240. So even though that helps a little bit, it's not enough. If I fail to knock out the Zacian this turn, then yes, they can heal it and Gale Thrust will no longer knock it out. So I don't know if they're going to retreat into the Zacian. I don't really know what's happening. What I do know is that my laptop is going to die if I don't plug it in like right this second. So that was a close call. So they're going to force me to boss up their Zacian. An Escape Rope would be pretty helpful though. So what I can do is I can Rapid Strike Search for Tower of Water. I'll attach the energy here so I can Gale Thrust. But that doesn't help me too much. So maybe I magical with Dream Gift. I can Dream Gift to try to get a switch, but that'll end my turn. You know what? Let's go ahead. I can't get a supporter. I can't energy switch. I kind of can't do much. So we'll go ahead and we'll Dream Gift. And we will get a switch card. I don't... Okay, I guess... Is it prize? Is it in the discard pile? It's in the discard pile. I only have the one. Escape Rope works. The reason Escape Rope is going to work is they're probably going to pull that Zacian out of the active anyway. So, but I can always, this coming turn, Gmax Rapid Flow to the second Duraludon and to the Zacian. I can also, yeah, I figured they were going to pull that out, but they would, if I Escape Rope now, they'll go into the Zamazenta. I can very much hit into this Duraludon with Urshifu here, because it doesn't have a special energy attached to it. But this is a super stall deck. I seriously doubt they're going to be able to attack this turn. They do not. So let's Escape Rope. That was a clutch top deck. They're going to give me the Zamazenta. I'll go here. Boss you up. We're going to retreat. And now we can Gale Thrust for the knockout, getting rid of a lot of their energy and also taking 2 prizes in the process. There's a ribbon badge and there is a quick ball. So the reason I haven't evolved into Sylveon VMAX is because it's weak to metal, and a Brave Blade would take it out as a VMAX. So now that I have the ribbon badge, it'll only be a 1 prize Pokemon. It's something I definitely want. They still can't attack because they need a fighting type energy to use Gmax Pulverization, which this deck tends to get from using something like, what is it called? Aurora Energy. So let's see. And at this point, it's just kind of a stall. They're going to Marnie us. They already attached an energy this turn to the Duraludon, so they can't attack anyway. They don't have a Bronzong to transfer anything. No Crystal Cave, but we can Tower of Water. And I can't Gmax Rapid Flow anything. I can't even touch this Zamazenta. So we kind of just have to research here. And Tool Scrapper goes from green to yellow, which means it's been selected. We can Oranguru. We'll attach. Let's just we'll put this boss on top. Not particularly helpful. Let's search for a... Can't really search for a Rapid Strike energy, can I? So we're going to go ahead and search for a Remoraid, because then I can Evolution Incense next turn, get another Octillery, be able to search 2 different things. And we're just going to hit it with Gale Thrust, I guess, do 30 damage. Maybe a Bird Keeper or something would be good in this deck. Some other kind of switch options, because this happens. You can only retreat once per turn. So if I manually retreat or use Tower of Waters to retreat, I can't put up an Octillery and then retreat again. I have to use a switch card one of those times. So, you know, in times where I really need a Gale Thrust, I can't, unless I have another Urshifu set up, which it would probably have been the smarter thing to do. Yeah, actually, because then I could just kind of cycle through them and Gale Thrust each turn. Man, that would have been smarter. In times where you're not thinking ahead, then yeah. So they're going to go ahead and boss up my Oranguru. We'll Rapid Strike Search. Just get an energy out. Just so we can... We'll play the Evolution Incense. I don't think we really are going to get anything. We're just going to get it out of the hand. And let's get rid of this Rapid Strike energy. We kind of don't need it. And we'll just Karinas. So there we go. We can Energy Search. Or Dark Energy. I guess that's really all we have. And, you know what? We're going to hold on to it. We're going to Dream Gift for an Air Balloon. And there we go. My wife is texting me. Sorry, she was wondering what I was doing. Duraludon still can't attack. I don't know why they attached to the Duraludon VMAX. They could have started setting up the second one. They could have had Assault Tackle for this guy. I guess now they do. We do get to play Raihan now, though. So that's fun. We're going to make it Octillery, because if we made it Urshifu, we would not be able to use Gale Thrust. So we'll go ahead. We'll play Raihan. We'll get it attached to you. Put a card into our hand. We get an energy switch. Because then I can move an energy switch over to this guy. So that now I can evolution. I can use Rapid Strike Search to but for now, we'll just 100 Furious Blows. Hit for 150. Unless they get a fighting energy on this Duraludon, they can't take the knockout on this guy. They can Rapid Strike. Get rid of the Rapid Strike energy with Assault Tackle. Now that they brought this back in, there's the fighting energy. So here comes the knockout. We'll go ahead and make our Octillery our pivot again. So just throw it on you. You're the only non-Rapid Strike Pokemon. Let's go ahead and I guess research. right? We don't really have much else to do. We're running out of cards, though. Not super smart. Well, Eldegoss. We'll get a boss back in hand. And we will retreat into our Urshifu, who will Gale Thrust. And now we've kind of set up game for next turn. No, we didn't. Because I need to be able to retreat. I need a switch card. I need a switch card. And I don't have one. But we have the boss. So I can always pass and then boss up the Duraludon the next turn. Let them take the knockout. I don't really care. Because they can't knock out my Urshifu this turn no matter what. They're going to switch. Okay, so let's Rapid Strike Search. We'll retreat and Magical Shot. Just shy, 20 damage shy. That's okay. They have to have a boss's order. If they have a boss, they win. If they don't have a boss, then I win. And they don't. So I win this game. This is very, very close. I did not like it. Too close for my comfort. But that's what Duraludon VMAX does, right? It is meant to be a very long game. It's meant to really wear you down and use all of your resources. This was extremely close. Very well played by my opponent there. So there you go. That is the deck Rapid Strike box featuring Sylveon VMAX. But did you think we were done? If so, you thought like an idiot. That's a really old reference. I will give 3 Evolving Sky packs or codes to the first person who can tell me what that's from, because it always makes me laugh. Anyway, let's go on to a new segment that we're doing at the end of most, if not every video, where we not just give my thoughts on the video, but we get actual data on how the deck performed. So here we have the single deck analysis from Objective Deck. Objective Deck is a new website that's going to let us look at actual hardcore data on our Pokemon TCGO games and our decks. So what you do is you upload a game log and a deck list, and it spits out all this information, everything you can possibly need, and there's more stuff coming in the near future. So this is just kind of like the first version of the site. It's going to get better over time. It gives you basic outcomes like how often you win and lose, and how often you win and lose going first versus going second. Obviously, we only did 3 games, so the numbers here aren't necessarily set in stone, but what you can do is play 5, 10, 15 games and get a real idea of how is your deck performing. And so let's take a look at some of the outcomes and measures that Objective Deck gives us and how we can apply it to Rapid Strike Urshifu to make it a better deck, or how to play the deck better. What I want to focus on is efficiencies and acceleration. So we can look at energy efficiency, the average damage dealt per energy attached, and that is about 78. Other decks, you know, might have a higher damage per energy attached depending on energy requirements and also how much damage the attack is doing. So for example, an attack that costs 3 energy and also does 300 damage, you're going to see the average energy efficiency would be about 100. It's going to be the number of damage you're doing divided by the energy that you're attaching. So higher numbers may or may not be better. It's really dependent on your deck. Rapid Strike Urshifu looks to spread damage out. So you're doing 120 damage to 2 Pokemon for 3 energy. So you're doing 240 damage for 3 energy. Well, if you do 240 divided by 3, it comes out to 80. So we're about in that range, right, for Gmax Rapid Flow attacks. What's interesting is that our average damage per energy attached is much higher in our losses compared to our wins. Well, why? The answer is because when we were losing, what were we doing? We were attaching to Sylveon, just hitting into things and weren't getting knockouts, and we had to constantly attach energies because our Pokemon were getting knocked out, or we had to switch or something. Not very efficient for something like Rapid Strike Urshifu, and you'll see that in the next graph. If you look at damage efficiency, which is the average damage dealt per prize card taken, we're doing about 120 damage for every prize card. Now, that makes sense because 240 damage is enough to knock out a Pokemon V, which gives you 2 prizes, and 240 divided by 2 is about 120. So 2 Gmax Rapid Flows and you get about a damage efficiency of 120 or so. Obviously, there's going to be Gale Thrust in there, so it's going to skew the numbers a little bit. There's going to be other attacks from Sylveon, like Max Harmony, all that kind of stuff, but just generally, you can kind of see where these numbers come from. It also works hitting with Max Harmony for 220, also will bring you roughly into the 110 area if you add in all the extra attacks. So you can see how we're getting this. And our average damage dealt per prize card taken when we lose is a lot higher. Why? Well, because we're just attacking into Pokemon with Gale Thrusts over and over, and we're doing 150 and 300 damage to get 2 prize cards, versus when we win, we're able to be much more mindful of where our damage is going and how much damage we need to get that knockout. Remember, if you are doing 400 damage to get a 2 prize KO or even a 1 prize KO, your efficiency is not very good. Your damage efficiency isn't good. You are doing way too much damage for 1 prize card. So you kind of want this number to be lower, because that means you're not overdoing how much damage, or you're not constantly making 1,000 attacks into a Pokemon to get that KO. And we see this more with attack efficiency, which is the number of attacks we need to make per prize card taken. We are making about 1 attack per prize card, which means we need to attack into a Pokemon V twice and a Pokemon VMAX 3 times, which makes sense, roughly. Gale Thrust will do 300 damage to a 300 damage after 2 attacks, which is enough to take a 2 prize, but not a 3 prize. And Gmax Rapid Flow you have to do twice in order to take a 2 prize V Pokemon. So we can see that we are doing about a 1-to-1, and in the games we win, we're doing much less attacks to get those knockouts. And this is very, very important. If you have to constantly attack, I saw a deck that had an attack efficiency of like 5. They had to attack 5 times to get 1 prize card. That's way, way too high. So we can see in the game we won, we're taking 2 prize cards for every 1 attack, or 4 prizes for every 2 attacks. That's kind of what Urshifu, Rapid Strike Urshifu, wants to do. And obviously, in the games we win, if we're taking less attacks and we are doing less damage per turn and per energy, then it's no surprise that our total average damage is going to be less in the games we win than when we lose. Why? Because in the games we lose, we just have to keep attacking over and over and over again, and that's clearly not an effective strategy for Rapid Strike Urshifu. So, with all of this in mind, we can go back in the next set of games with this Rapid Strike box and say, okay, we need to take as many prize cards with as few attacks as possible. And I know that sounds super intuitive, and like, yeah, every deck wants to do that, but it's much more important for Rapid Strike Urshifu to be extremely mindful of the amount of damage you're doing per prize card and the number of attacks per prize card and energy and all that kind of stuff. And this is kind of how we're going to use Objective Deck and how we're going to analyze games in the future. And this was a little bit longer of an explanation because I'm showing how explaining these things, but in future videos we will not take as long to explain all this. But yeah, that's Objective Deck. Super cool website. I'm extremely excited for it, and obviously the link is in the video description. So now we are at the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't be afraid to hit the subscribe button and bell notification so you never miss another video. If you absolutely love this content and like I need to help out this channel, then you can always leave a comment and a like. Those are the best ways to tell YouTube that this is a good video and other people should watch it. Don't forget about the giveaway we're doing, so go check out the other video in the description to enter and figure out all that kind of stuff. And that's going to do it for us today. Thanks so much for Objective Deck for providing the codes for today's video, and I will see you guys next time.